So what you have to understand mainly with the Great Tribulation is the destruction or the accounts of the Great Tribulation is resultant or is happening as a result of your grasping, as a result of you holding on. So how the code manifests is that it's manifest through Sunyata, and it's manifest through Pragyaparamita Sunyata. And Sunyata is about zero. It's like the number of Sunyata is zero. The number zero, the how you can understand Sunyata, how you can understand the destruction, the dissolving. Sunyata is like destroys and dissolves everything that is based on ignorance. So how you can understand Sunyata is that Sunyata's number is zero, and Sunyata's number is zero, and the zero doesn't exist. The number itself, like think about it, the zero doesn't exist. But at the same time, the zero adds value to everything. So you cannot actually hold on to the zero. You cannot actually grasp the zero. The zero is not there, but at the same time, the zero is there. So that's Sunyata. So that's how you understand this word. It's like, that's why you can't hold on to Sunyata. As soon as you hold on to Sunyata, you're trying to grasp zero. And that's incorrect. That's the false view. That's the error. You're trying to grasp zero. You can't grasp it. That's why it's the mirage. Your family is there and it's not there. Your self-identity is a mirage. Your self-identity is a zero. You can't grasp it. Where is it? How are you going to grasp yourself? Where are you? What makes you an individual? How can you grasp yourself? You cannot, because every single moment you're aging and you're heading towards death in terms of the relative truth. Let's just say there's no tribulation. If you look at your life, you can't grasp yourself because you are rapidly heading towards your own cessation. You're rapidly heading towards your own death. And you die and you go away. So you don't exist. So it's just a fake concept that to believe that we exist and we can grasp onto ourselves and identity, me, it doesn't exist. So that base concept of the self in itself is incorrect. And that's what Sunyata is trying to collapse. That's what Sunyata is trying to show you. It's like, it's not real. You don't exist. You are made, your base number is zero. Like you are made in the image of Sunyata. You're like zero. You don't exist. You can't grasp yourself. You don't make yourself. Like if I was a sovereign individual being, I should be able to create myself, but I can't create myself. I can't say, oh, I want to live 200 years without aging. I can't say that. I don't have those choices. Like I can't say, I'm going to remain 16 for the rest of my life. I'm going to remain like 30 for the rest of my life. I can't say that. I'm going to age. I'm going to die. So I don't have like any choice, any say in terms of my life. So that in itself shows you that you are not sovereign. You are not independent. You don't have an independent existence because you are dependent on this reality-based system. And this reality-based system is based on zero. And as soon as you grasp it, it's incorrect. And then you have all this plethora of problems that the humans keep complaining about. So that's why in Buddhism, they say people incarnate, people take birth because they don't understand Sunyata. As soon as you don't understand Sunyata, you incur a karma and you take birth. And that's why you take birth, because you don't understand Sunyata, and that your birth is your karma. So, and then you have to go through all of this relative truth system and try and understand Sunyata, and try and understand that the birth itself is trying to teach you that you have no power over yourself. You have no power over birth and death. You can be born anytime and you have to go through this all over again, and they're going to die and you're going to end up in hell. And you have no choice. So as soon as you say, I'm sovereign, I'm free, I'm an individual, I have my individual rights. When you say that, it's all incorrect, because you are actually dependent on the system. You're dependent on this universal spiritual system that we are a part of. So you're codependent, interdependent, interlinked within that. So that's what Sunyata is trying to teach you, is that as soon as you hold on, as soon as you grasp the zero, as soon as you grasp Sunyata, when you grasp yourself, you're trying to grasp Sunyata. When you try to grasp a relative, you're trying to grasp Sunyata. When you try to grasp your children, you're trying to grasp zero. When you're trying to grasp your identity, you're trying to grasp zero. So that's ignorant. You can't grasp zero because zero doesn't exist. Um, so that's what Sunyata is trying to wake you up from, and that's what Sunyata is teaching, that you cannot grasp to zero, you cannot grasp on zero because zero doesn't exist. Zero only has existence through the one. How you can directly understand Sunyata is like Sunyata is zero, and this whole reality is modeled around that emptiness, is modeled around zero because you don't exist. Because one moment you are a little baby, next moment you are a teenager, that teenager is gone. Now you are like an adult. That is gone. Now you're like an old person. So it's like that is Sunyata. So you can't make this up. I can't just tell you, oh, everything is empty, it doesn't exist. It doesn't make any sense. If I tell you that you don't exist and why you don't exist, because one day you were a baby, now you are a 12-year-old teenager, and it's like, where's the baby? So that's like Sunyata. It's a mirage. It keeps changing form and it keeps evolving and it keeps changing form and it just until it disappears. You die and you're like gone. This whole reality is modeled around Sunyata. And when we grow up in that Sunyata system, it's easy for us to understand because we are one with the Sunyata system. We're part of the Sunyata. We should find it very easy to understand Sunyata even more than the angels and the gods because they have a different birthing system. I don't know the birthing system of the Devas, but I know the birthing system of the Yeshua heaven, our Father in heaven, how Father made Adam and then he breathed life into him. It's like you just make a person. So they're not born from a woman, but they're just made by our Father. So they have a different birthing system and they don't die, they don't age. They don't have our physical body, they don't feel pain, they live to the end of that age, end of that time. So it's a completely different system. They're telepathic, they're omnipresent, they are very strong. And they don't feel any pain or suffering like we do. We have like a, let's say, a weaker body, whereas like they don't, they have very strong bodies. So they don't even understand Sunyata. Like for them it'll be really hard to fathom Sunyata. For us, for human beings, we have that opportunity to directly understand Sunyata just by being born as a human being, that we know that we are part of that illusory template, we're part of that mirage. We're constantly moving and we're constantly shifting our body, we're constantly shifting, like shape shifting from like being a baby to like this young person to this full grown adult, and then we just like get really old and wrinkly and just die off. So we are constantly shifting. So that in itself is like a mirage. It's like, where are you? Which one is you? And you don't even remember that you are that baby. You don't even remember that you are that teenager. Like, I don't know myself as a teenager or a baby. So it's like, how can you say that you have an identity when you don't even know, like 80% of yourself, you don't even know? So you only have what you have now. You only know that, and you think you know, but 10 years from now, you won't even remember that. So it's all based on an illusion. It's all based on a mirage. So for us, it has to be really easy to understand it. And we have that opportunity to understand Sunyata directly by just observing our everyday life and just observing our life and just observing our system. So we are not out of the Sunyata system. We are in the Sunyata system. We are not like the Devas or the angels that have a different system. They can have a difficult time understanding Sunyata, but we are born in that system, so we should understand it better. That's why the human body is like considered the best spiritual vehicle, because we have that mirage. We operate within that Sunyata mirage. We operate within that zero. And we should be having it should be really easy for us to understand Sunyata. So as soon as you hold on to, like, say you can't hold on to your baby state, it's like when they say forever 16 or something, that's an illusion, because it's like you want to be forever 16, but no, you're going to be 60 at one point. You can't hold on to it. So as soon as you hold on to the forever 16 concept, it's going to have a negative impact on you, because you are not accepting like 30. You're not accepting when you're 30 years old, when you're 40 years old, you're like, oh, I want to be 16. That in itself is ignorant, and that's going to cause you like problems and dissatisfaction and unhappiness because you're holding on to like forever 16 or something. So anything you're grasping your own self, you're grasping that, it's something you can't do. You can't grasp yourself because one day you're going to age and you're going to die. You can't grasp death. You don't have a choice of how you're going to be reborn, whether you're going to be reborn in hell, whether you're going to take you're going to take birth as an animal or a human being, or you're going to take birth as an angel. You don't have a choice. So there is no self. So you can't grasp the self. And as soon as you grasp, that's ignorant, because there's no such thing as the self. You can't grasp forever 16. You can't grasp when you're a baby. Every second you are changing. Every second you are aging. And so you can't grasp every second unless you can't stop time. Time governs you. You are under the power of time. And that's why we have the end times, because we have no power over the end times as well. We have no power over the scenarios of the end time. We have to face the end time. We have to go through purification. We have to do the learning. We have to know Yeshua, Son of God. We have to know Sunyata. We have to understand emptiness. We have to not grasp. We have to understand form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. We have to understand our Father as Atom. We just don't have a choice. If we don't do those things, we end up in hell. We learn it. We learn it the hard way through suffering. And if we understand, we learn it in this earthly body, which is considered the best spiritual vehicle to learn and do spirituality. We learn it in that body, and then we can quickly attain our Buddhahood, our heart, and rapture and go to heaven. Otherwise, we are going to learn it either way, whether we are going to do it now or whether we are going to do it in the hell realms. We have to do it. We have to do it either way. You have to know that all this, the Great Tribulation and all the problems that we have in the world, comes as a result of us believing in the concept of form, believing in a concrete world, being grasped and held in this construct, believing it's real, believing that this life and this entire manifestation is real, believing in like this is real and this is like exist and this is mine. And when we like grasp it and when we feel like this is concrete, then we are in big trouble, because it's not concrete. One moment it's there, the next moment it's not there. Like they say, the problem is not with this, the problem is not that not with the form itself, the problem is our perception of the form. That's where the problem is. So this can exist on its own, but as soon as you give it a name, label, and identity, and as soon as you identify with this, make contact with this, that's where the problem is. We have to perceive everything as emptiness. So the form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So the form is not form on its own, the form is emptiness. But we are not getting rid of the form and saying form doesn't exist, because form is emptiness. So form is emptiness, emptiness is form. There's no better way to describe it. And that's why that this saying is very popular in Buddhism. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Everyone knows this, like most people know this. The people that know the real Buddhism know form is emptiness, emptiness is form, because we are not getting rid of the form, but the form is empty. Emptiness is form. So your perception, your understanding of the form is incorrect. The form exists, but it exists in an empty form. The form itself doesn't have its independent existence. It doesn't have an independent existence. All of that comes from somewhere through all this massive, copious amounts of causes. It manifests because of that. It doesn't have its sovereign, independent form, which the ruling elite falsely believe that they are independent sovereign beings or something. Like we have our own system, we have everything, we created everything, and it's our system and it's our form, and we are sovereign and independent. We are the rebellion and we don't need God. We are independent and we can do everything on our own. That's what they say, and that's an incorrect view as well. That's a false view, and that's why they are going to learn these things in hell, that it is not true. And they reject God, they reject our Creator, and they believe that they are independent and sovereign and independent from our Creator, independent from the atom. That's what they believe. So that is an incorrect concept as well. So that is an incorrect orientation, and that's an understanding based on ignorance. That's why they suffer. They suffer a lot. They have a lot of problems. The demons, the ruling elite, reptilians, they have a lot of problems, and they suffer a lot in terms of, like, they have like the material stuff, but mentally, emotionally, and they have like they have clashes that cannot be fathomed. Like the clash is like crazy. They have like crazy amount of emotional poisons. Like the poisons they consist is crazy, and you can see the direct reflection of their poison, the ruling elite's poison, that they have poisoned the whole world with chemtrails and poisoning our food and poisoning our water, poisoning our clothing, because they themselves are poisoned within them. They have so much clash, so much poison inside of them. They managed to poison the whole earth. So it's a direct manifestation. When we see our world, when we see our world in terms of like all the suffering that we are going through, like in terms of like the whole world system has been poisoned, and there is so much ignorance, there's so much whoredom, so much consumerism, so much waste. All of that is actually a direct manifestation of us, the ruling elite's negative form. It's a direct manifestation of their true energy and the clash that they hold inside of them. So it's a manifestation of that. So it's not by accident, it's not by chance. All the art you see, all the dangerous cutting and killing art that you see, all the killing video games that you see, all of that is not by chance. They are expressing their true nature through their art, through their killing and stabbing art, and through their horror movies, and everything they traumatize us with, even like whoredom and materialism, aspiring the young generation to become millionaires and billionaires for no reason. So all of those are part of like all the deep clashes of the ruling elite that are teaching those things to humanity, leading them astray, or teaching them into that satanic, material, worldly form based system. As soon as you hold on to the form, you are incorrect, and Sunyata will collapse it. So tribulation, that's what it's about. It's about collapsing. It's collapsing the ignorance, because you held on to the form, you didn't realize that it was empty. So now it's collapsing it. It's completely getting rid of it, because what you hold on to affects the entire universe. It puts the whole universe in danger of the whole universe collapsing, of the whole universe destructing. The gods of the heaven in the Buddhist scriptures, the devas, the gods of the heaven, the many gods, they don't have power over that. They can't save the universe. They are so powerful. They wield vajras, but they can't save the universe. You have to come down on this earth and realize Sunyata, like the Lord Buddha Shakyamuni did. You have to realize Sunyata, and then you can preserve the world. You have to correctly realize Sunyata and realize form is emptiness, emptiness is form, and then the universe will preserve. Like all these gods and angels, they have no power to save the world. You have to realize Sunyata. As soon as you realize Sunyata, everything is fine. Everything just preserves itself. That's what the feminine energy is. That's what the Mother Tantra is the Sunyata. You have to realize Sunyata, and your life will be easy. Everything will be fine. Everything will just balance around you. And you come out from that sense of me, my mother, my father, my relative, my child, my house, my love, my creation. You come out of that, realize everything is empty, everything is Sunyata. And when you do that, you help everyone. When you realize Sunyata, you help everyone. When Buddha realized Sunyata, he saved the world from destructing. He helped the humans and he helped the gods. As soon as you say me, mine, my mother, my father, my relative, my friends, as soon as you say me, form you hold on, the world will collapse. And in the end time, Sunyata will actually give you the immediate result of whatever you're holding on to.